motivation is literally a scam. I'm talking about the type of motivation that is in videos or is intertwined with music, where there's really motivational and inspiring speeches that inspires you and motivates you to get up and do the work and go do the run that you know you need to do, go do the exercise, and you can do anything as long as you put your mind to it. In my younger years, I have certainly been a victim of this motivation scam. The problem is that motivation is a feeling, like happiness or excitement or sadness is a feeling. Because it would make perfect sense that if you're feeling sad because something's going wrong in your life, you wouldn't listen to happiness motivation or listen or watch videos that make you happy because there's something wrong in your life. And in the same way, if there is a void of motivation for what you want or need to do, all it means is that there's something wrong. You shouldn't need external motivating factors to get you to do the things that you know you need to do. And because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fleeting, they come and go as they like, it won't last. You could watch a video that motivates you, and that motivation feeling will be gone very soon. It may last long enough for you to carry out the thing that you need to do, but then it won't last long enough for you to do anything else. And then you would go back to the video that motivated you, and then the feeling wouldn't be the same. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the motivation scam that so many people believe and that so many people depend on to get anything done in their lives. I was certainly a big victim of this motivation scam because when I was younger, I was really into basketball, but my mindset was just not right and not there at all. And it meant that although I was really wanting to be good and I practiced for so long, every single day, there was never any results because I had a massive fear of failure and I never wanted to miss a shot or get a turnover or make the wrong pass or get a foul. I didn't want to do a single thing wrong because I thought that's how you become good and that's how you get scouted and get into the NBA. And that fear only meant that I never did anything that was important in the game. And I distinctly remember there was one day before I had a game, I went downstairs to eat some salt because I recently found out that salt helps like muscle contractions and helps muscles work better basically. Went downstairs and did that. I think while or after I had listened to like really hype music to get me in the mood. And I also kept listening to that hype music while walking to where the game was taking place. And I was all excited, all pumped up until I got there. And then all of that excitement and pent up energy went away, and then I quietly practiced, and then the game happened, and then I didn't do anything important because I was afraid to fail. And it meant that I put in not so much time and energy, but a substantial amount of time and energy into feeling motivated and pumped up for it to go away, and for me not to do anything productive in the actual game, which is the most important thing. And I even remember listening to hype kind of music or motivational speeches when I started going to the gym, and it did help, but then that made me kind of dependent on these motivational speeches to kind of push through the hard sets with a lot of intensity because I couldn't do it on my own, in my own head. I had to have someone else tell me that I can do it because I didn't believe in myself. That's what I was subconsciously telling myself because I was only able to continue the progress in the gym when listening to hype motivational speeches or music. So what you need to understand is that if you desperately feel like you need motivation to get up, work out, and go exercise and do the work that you know you need to do or improve yourself enough so that you can do that, it very well may mean that you actually don't want that. You know the things are good, but something within you doesn't resonate with those goals, and so you're trying to convince yourself with logic to do them. To better explain this point, when I was walking my dog yesterday, I've seen quite a few people jogging around where I live basically because it is springtime and people are starting to train up for the half marathons and marathons that are going to take place. And something very competitive within me came up, and I thought, I want to compete in a marathon and win. And I don't care about finishing, and I tried my best, which is what so many people do with marathons. These like middle-aged women, or it's mainly middle-aged women, let's be fair. They may be they're doing something good for themselves. They maybe lose weight or something after a child. They compete in a marathon and they complete it and they post it on Facebook and say, my first marathon, I finished in this time, which is like an hour later after everyone else. Of course that would be good for them and I would be glad for them. But for men like us, that is so unappealing and uninteresting. And it would even be unappealing if we were to think about competing in a marathon logically, because we know that running improves cardiovascular strength and endurance in the legs, and you build mental toughness because you have to put yourself through this grueling activity that lasts 5 kilometers or however long it is, and when you do it, you overcome the mental challenge and then you become stronger. Sure, all of that sounds good, but you don't motivate people by appealing to logic. You motivate people by appealing to emotions. And so I kept thinking about competing in this marathon. And I didn't want to compete because it would improve my cardiovascular strength or endurance in my legs. Of course that would be good, but that would only be a side effect of the main thing that I want. And the main thing that I would want to achieve through competing in a marathon is to prove my ego. Because some of these people that I see out running have probably been running for years or maybe close to decades. And I have no real experience in running. Sure, I have been out on a run, but I haven't done that in a while now. And when I have done it, I wasn't too good and I would get out of breath. But I thought, if I just completely dedicated myself to competing in a marathon for 6 months or however long it really takes, really go all out in it and put 100% of my effort in it, and then win, that would be the biggest fuck you to the people who spent years or decades running, because the only reason I would win is because of my sheer willpower, discipline, and mental toughness. And of course, when you win something, it means that the other people lost or came below you, and that's an ego thing. It means that to prove my ego, I would want to put myself through such grueling exercises and such a strict plan that would improve my health, my well-being, and possibly my life so much, all for the benefit of proving my ego. And that's exactly how you motivate yourself, not through external motivation of famous people saying that you can do it. It's by appealing to your darkest and most appealing desires. And once you appeal to your most important and deepest, darkest desires, the motivation that you would feel to achieve them would now become purpose. Because you know that once you complete this big goal, or maybe even somewhat small goal, you will feel fulfillment. Because you're completing something that resonates with you, and that makes you feel useful and needed. And that's where I think I got goal setting and kind of purpose wrong before. Because my purpose is to retire my parents, give my girlfriend everything she has ever wanted, help millions of men with the words that I speak online, and to live up to my potential and live the best possible life that I can. And of course everything I said sounds very good, but I realise now that it appealed so much to logic and not completely enough to emotions. And of course those things appeal to some emotions, because if I don't retire my parents, they suffer more than they need to because I didn't work hard enough. My girlfriend has to work more and suffer more than she needs to because I haven't worked hard enough. Millions of men don't get the guidance, help and support that they need because I didn't work hard enough. And most importantly, I suffer. I need to feel the discomfort and pain of living a bad life because I haven't worked hard enough. And that of course brings some emotion, but it doesn't feed into my deepest, darkest desires. And some of the deep, dark desires that I'm talking about that appeal to me at least is stuff like feeding my ego, getting attention, wanting other people to fail because of how great I am, and I guess just complete dominance over other men. I realise now that I've been thinking about those type of things ever since I was young, and I thought that it was a bad thing. I shouldn't prove my ego, I shouldn't want other people to fail, and stuff like that. But now I realise if that is a dark desire that is kind of like selfish in a way, I should tie in the goals that I want to achieve to those dark desires. So for example, I have always wanted to kind of like stand out in a really good and successful way. I want to have a really nice car that I could drive through town and it turns people's heads and they look at me and think he's doing something very well. And basically I get attention because of how successful I am. Or I want to walk through a town or city with or I want to walk through a town or city or just anywhere with my back straight, my chest out and my head high, and then walk past people and they look at me and think, he looks like he knows stuff, he looks like he has done stuff, he looks successful. And I also want to dominate and completely outcompete every single man that I know. I want to be the most successful man from the people that I know currently, because of course I know that if I forever want to stay the most successful man that I know, that will keep me in a box and not allow me to network with other people who will be better than me, and then they could make me even better because of the knowledge that they have. So I'm not forever going to try be the most successful man that I know. I want to be the most successful man out of anybody who I went to school with or anybody who I used to be friends with, that type of thing. And because I want to achieve those things, I should more so look to achieve my goals with the purpose of achieving those deep, dark, selfish desires. Because of course having a flashy, expensive car or walking a certain way or having dominated everybody that I went to school with doesn't really help the world or help me really. But the only way I will get to achieve those things is by becoming extremely competent, extremely hardworking, and putting enough time and attention that will make me able to succeed. And once I become extremely successful, I can walk with my back straight, chest out, head up, drive a fancy expensive car, have dominated everybody that I went to school with. I will be in a position where I can retire my parents. I can give my girlfriend everything she has ever wanted, and I can continue to give help, support and guidance to millions of men without needing to worry about money or worrying about having a lack of time because I need to earn money. I will be in a position where I am stable and I can pursue the most meaningful things, and I only got in that position because I pursued my deepest, darkest desires. And so that is exactly how you motivate yourself. You don't motivate yourself by watching videos that tell you to go for it and keep pushing and you can do it. They may motivate you, but it will pass and it will be no benefit and you will have wasted your time. Figure out what you want to achieve most in life. Aim to fulfill your deepest, darkest desires, but of course fulfill them in a way that doesn't make the world a worse place or harm anyone. Because I can get a fancy car, walk confidently and become more successful than everybody I went to school with, and that doesn't damage anyone or harm anyone. And for example, if I also wanted to dominate women sexually, I could do that. But of course I would do it in a way that doesn't harm the women. I would only do it to women who want that. And so it means that the woman gets what she wants, and I fulfill my deepest, darkest desires, and nobody gets harmed. And through trying to fulfill your deepest, darkest desires, look to see how you can make the world a better place in a way that resonates with you. Because I care very much about retiring my parents, giving my girlfriend everything she has ever wanted, and helping millions of men with the words that I speak. So through trying to fulfill my deepest, darkest desires, I will be able to help the world tremendously. And that is exactly how you need to motivate yourself, instead of watching wishy-washy motivational videos that pump you up. Put in enough time and attention because that will make anything into reality.